Good morning to you all and welcome to Wake Up News live on Globe Television. I am Sandra BOAHEN. Let's take a look at the headlines. Coming up, bereaved families of local miners who died during a violent confrontation with military officers at Anglo Gold Obuasi Gold Mine take delivery of the bodies. This morning, Road Minister Designate brings attention to the significant debt burden facing the country's road sector. The minority in Parliament gives President Mahama an ultimatum to restore order and end the post-election violence and destruction of state properties or risk losing their cooperation in Parliament. Coming up later on the international front, in the U.S., President Donald Trump has begun his promised flurry of executive action on day one. Coming up in sports, the second round of the 2024-2025 Premier League season continues this weekend with mouth-watering fixtures. Details of all these stories and many more coming up shortly. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook at Globe TV GH. We do appreciate your time with us this morning. I am Sandra BOAHEN. Let's start from our first story. Now, bereaved families of local miners who died during a violent confrontation with military officers at Anglo Gold Obuasi Gold Mine on Monday gathered at the Obuasi Government Hospital to take delivery of the bodies. Hospital authorities confirmed the total of 9 deaths with 8 injured persons sent to the Confanoche Teaching Hospital. The incident occurred late on Saturday, January 18, 2025, around 11 o'clock p.m. I beg your pardon, when a group of approximately 60 illegal miners breached the security fence and attempted to access the deep decline area of the mine. There have been several incidents of military attacks on civilians in Ghana in recent years, resulting in loss of life and injuries. My colleague Bright Awusi joins me in the studio to uncover some notable incidents. Bright, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Sandra.
to have you this morning.
Thank you.
Now, we've been having these civilian attacks over the past years. What more can you tell us?
Right, Sandra, as we rightly mentioned, there are several occasions where we've had civilian-military confrontations, some injuries, to some extent, loss of lives. We've set up some committees and all of that. But I have the data here. I will run you through that pretty shortly. So let me take you to some of the instances whereby the military has attacked the civilians. And remember, on February 7th, 2017, just a month after the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, took office, incident happened at the Achuma Kwangoma district capital, where at Chedia instead of Fuase, 4 killed and 32 injured during that joint police military confrontation. So it's not always the case that the military has attacked the civilians. Sometimes we have a joint military operations whereby in those confrontations you see some death happening in them. And straightforward to December 8, 2020, no, April 5, 2020, where a soldier shot Eric Ofuchu to death in Ashama during the lockdown. So during the COVID-19 lockdown, somewhere that April, where there was a total shutdown in the country, and the police and then the military were ensuring compliance to the lockdown. There were some confrontation that led to the demise of a civilian, Ofosu, Eric Ofosu, in Assam, and that gentleman died unfortunately. And then December 8th, 2020, remember the Techima South election, where 2 people were killed by the military and 9 people were injured. And as of now, we've not been able to establish those killers. Where the president, John Dramani Mahama, said...
That's very unfortunate.
Yes, but likely enough, the president, John Dramani Mahama, said he's going to launch an investigation into it. He has charged the IGP, Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, to look into some of these instances. Now, Sandra, June 4, 2021, or somewhere June 2021, remember Ejura's death, where one gentleman by name Kaka, may so rest in perfect peace. The gentleman died mysteriously. Out of that, there were some chaos at Ejura, and that's the military firing shots into the crowd, where 2 died and 4 people were injured. And Sandra, you remember there was a committee set by the president to look into it. There were some recommendations into that, and also an amount of money, quite huge amount, but you know, we're compensated to the family. We're giving to the family in the form of, you know, compensation. But you know, no amount can bring a person's life back. And that is the more difficult aspect, that as a country, we should look into that. It's not always the case that you give money to compensate the family, but there's no way you can bring the life back. Away from that, in July that same year, 2021, a military beats and harassed civilian over a stolen phone in Wa. Because of phone, someone was harassed, someone was beaten by the military because there has been a stolen phone in Wa. In August 2022, the ECG prepaid meter installation in Lower Menyakrobo, where we saw some military personnel brutalizing and shooting civilians, and out of that, 8 people were injured, and some people also died as a result. I think 2 people also died in that regard. So during that ECG installation period, there was a confrontation between the military and the civilian, and unfortunately, we witnessed
8 others injured.
8 others injured, and then some people also died. Unfortunately, I don't have the figures, but some people died as a result of that. And then lastly, in March 2023, military assault on a shaman resident. You remember that gentleman, that military officer who was killed in a shaman?
Yes.
And out of that, the military invaded the area, took hostages of the area, where innocent people were brutalized, some were harassed, and in fact, that the torture and the trauma that residents they have to pass through was very unbearable. But Sandra, that is not all. We have some instances whereby the civilian has also attacked the military. So it's not always the case that the military attacked the civilian. Sometimes the civilian also attacked the military. So these are some of the instances. In May 29, 2017, residents in Dentrobuase killed a military man. You remember that? Such a bizarre incident.
Our first story, our first civilian attack.
Yes.
Over 2017.
2017. And that, there has been a judgment whereby 22 of the killers have been sentenced to, is it death imprisonment? Yes, something like that. 22 of them have been sentenced to life imprisonment. So they are going to be in prison for the rest of their lives. And I think that is a fair judgment. Even though we can't bring Major Mahama back
to life.
But we've had an instance whereby these people, these perpetrators, are going to jail out of that. And then March 4, 2023, a soldier was killed in Ashama. I just ran you through that, whereby the military also took over the Ashama community. And in April 13, 2024, youth in Tema Newtown attacked a vehicle belonging to Eastern Naval Command of Ghana Navy. And remember, the Ghana Navy issued a statement, issued a stern warning to them that they also have the right to protect their life, they have the right to protect their their properties and all of that. So these are some of the issues that happened, and the way forward, these are some of the steps to consider. Investigate and prosecute the issues. We need to conduct a thorough investigations into each incident and also hold perpetrators accountable. And like I said earlier, with the issue of the Major Mahama case, 22 of the perpetrators have been sentenced to life imprisonment.
Yes. And we are hoping to see more of this in the past years. What happened?
Exactly.
Yes.
Especially with regard to the Techimai South election. We are here to see that those soldiers who issued who made that gunshot, we are hoping to see that after the end of that investigation, we will see some of these stringent or harsh punishment meted to them. Another one, reform the security sector. We need to implement comprehensive reforms, focusing on enhanced training, discipline, and community engagement. And also foster civilian-military cooperation. We should promote the dialogue, education, and outreach program to strengthen the relationship between civilians and military personnel. We need to notice that the security personnel are our friends. They are not our enemies.
They are not strangers.
They are there for us because of our life that they exist. Without us, they don't exist. So we don't see them as our enemy. We should cooperate with them. We should move with them. We should give them tip-off so that they will bring securities into our life and then our families. And then, Sandra, lastly, we need to build community trust. We should encourage military and security agencies to engage with local community, fostering trust and preventing misunderstanding. So, Sandra, these are some of the issues that going forward, we need to consider all of them. And we should also ensure the mode and manner in which we recruit, personnel into the security services. Nowadays, bribery and corruption here and there. So we hardly recruit the right people into the services. So, Sandra, these are some of the things that we need to do.
Okay, Bright, thank you very much for this update. That was Bright. I was bringing our mind back to these civilian attacks. We are still on this story because we are joined on the line by security experts through this kind of recent surge in military civilian attacks. Good morning, Mr. Aiden. Thank you for sharing your insight with us. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, my dear.
Please, Ghana has witnessed numerous military civilian attacks in recent years. What message do you think this sends about our country?
Right. Thank you for giving me such an opportunity. What is happening now is something that is very worrying, and we should not be entertained. It is so unfortunate that such thing is being happening in our local community. This is not the first time seeing this from the mining community. I was in Buahafo region just last week, and same incident happened at Totroso and Co. And it's very, 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 very worrying. We need urgent attention from our state institutions, because how we are tackling the matter is not the best. Because anytime such incident happens, you just do the investigation and then it ends there. But the necessary thing is to look for the root cause of it, because this issue is not going to end today, tomorrow, or tomorrow next, until you solve it from the root cause of it.
All right, Mr. Isaac, a report by the Fourth Estate reveals alarming statistics: over 72 extrajudicial killings and 120 injuries. Despite setting up committee to investigate this matter, in your opinion, what has gone wrong?
What has gone wrong is how the investigation comes. Most often, when such incident happens, we don't look through to the end. We only solve it here by investigating, but we don't hear that these people are being punished or something. Another day, they just compensate other people, and that is all. But the root cause of it, especially with the mining communities, is how we are going to help these people once we are taking their land, their minerals at the end. How are you going to replace them with all those stuff? Because going to these mining communities, I am now moving from Brahafu to Greater Accra region. And such incidents have been happening. There are so many mining communities, and the young ones over there are not getting the job. What is the replacement for them? We need to do something about our mining laws, the mineral laws, how we do recruit them, what the alternative livelihood for them. If that thing will not be happening, at the end of the day, you are not solving the matter, because when you tackle from here, tomorrow another community also gang up and then face the military.
Before we let you go, now President Mahama made this statement concerning these civilian attacks. What more can you say regarding this?
Please come again.
Before I let you go, President Mahama made a statement concerning these civilian attacks. What more do you have for us?
What we need to do or understand as a civilian is that once you attack the military or any security person, the uniform there stands there for the nation. So once you do that, then you are attacking the nation. We see you to be a rebel, so people have to be very careful whenever we meet people in uniform, how you treat them. And we should respect each other. They are not just there for their sake. They are there for the state. They are to defend us. They are to protect us. So for anything, we have to be cautious of how we handle it. When we have our issues, we should know where to tackle it from. We have opinion leaders over there. We should channel our concerns to them. That's why they are there. And then they will see the right thing to be doing. If that thing is not being done, and anytime you are to attack the military or the police, we are tarnishing the image of the country, which is very wrong. Their beret and everything represent the nation. Like you attacking a Ghana flag, you can see somebody having a small Ghana flag and be tearing it apart. That is very wrong. You are attacking the state. So at times they will just defend themselves because that is their job. So we've got to be extra careful when we have our issues, how to deal with them, especially with those in uniform.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome, my dear.
That was Mr. Isaac Ayite, who is a security expert. Now, let me come back to you. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has announced key appointment to the office of the president. What more can you tell us?
So Sandra, as you rightly mentioned, the president took office this barely 14 days now.
Yes.
And he promised during part of his campaign that within 14 days he will make all his appointments. Yes. Minutes ago, we had the presidency releasing a statement to that effect, and that was signed by the acting spokesperson to the presidency, Felix Fosu Kwache, releasing that statement. So this is the breaking news, a first of its kind, and then as you can see on your screen there, the President John Dramani Mahama has made key appointments to the office of the presidency aimed at strengthening governance and enhancing operational efficiency. Now, the new appointment reflects the president's commitment to effective leadership and responsive administration. And Sandra, as you can see on your screen there, we have quite a number of people, at least 10 of them being appointed to the seat of the presidency. And the first of all, we have Mrs. Joyce Bawa Mokhtari. She will be, I beg your pardon, she will be the presidential advisor and special aide to the president. We know how vocal this woman is. She was part of the campaign team. She was doing marvelously well.
I think she is the special aide to the presidency. Yes.
And now the president has retained her the special presidential advisor and special aide to the president. So I think that's a good way that has rendered her this opportunity. And we also have Joche Dogbe, he will be the Deputy Chief of Staff in Operations, as well as Nana Oye Bampo Ado. He will be the Deputy Chief of Staff in terms of administration. And then Seth Emmanuel Tekwe is the former finance minister under the Mohammed's administration. He was the finance minister. Now he will be the special presidential advisor on the economy. He's going to advise the president anything regarding the economy. He will advise the president in that regard. Sandra, we also have Professor Francis Dodo. He will be the presidential advisor, National Anti-Corruption Program. And I think I cannot wait to see how the oral thing will play out in this. And his advice to the president on that. Sandra, we also have Larry Beglo Lati. He will be special envoy to the Alliance of Sahelian States. And Nana Yajantwa, she will be presidential staffer. Nana Yajantwa was also a key member of the communication team of the NDC. And during the campaign time, we witnessed how vocal she was in terms of, you know, sending their message across to the people of Ghanaians. And Beatrice Annan, she's also a popular person, and she will also be the presidential staffer. And Shamima Muslim, the former journalist, now a politician, she will also be the deputy presidential spokesperson. And lastly, we have Professor Kweku Danso Boafo, a cabinet secretary to the president. So these are some of the appointments being made today, and the president has also fulfilled his promise that within 14 days we will see the appointments. Later in the day, I think we will see the rest of the regional ministers as well as the deputies of the substantive ministers. We will see all of them. And the statement goes ahead to say that the president expressed confidence in these appointees who will bring their expertise and dedication to their respective roles, contributing to the progress and development of the nation. So we wish the appointees the very best of luck, and we hope that they bring changes to the Ghanaians' economy. So Sandra, these are the breaking news for you. The president has made new appointees, and this is what we have for our audience at home.
Thank you very much, Bright, for this update. We really appreciate. Now, moving on, President John Dramani Mahama has pledged to ensure the timely completion and operationalization of the Sewa Hospital in the Ashanti region. Speaking at the first Akwesida celebration of the year at the Mensha Palace, Mahama outlined his government plans to address the critical challenges facing the 250-bed hospital.
The Sewa Hospital has been embroiled in controversy with former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo commissioning the facility despite the contractor Irrogate the Invest SA arguing that it was not ready. However, President Mahama has acknowledged the hospital's importance in reducing the patient load at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, which is currently overstretched and in need of renovations.
I had the privilege of calling on you to use your influence and diplomacy to smoothen the path so that it could open up the path towards prosperity and progress. And at the time, anytime I called on you, you did not hesitate. And I wish to thank you for the cooperation that I enjoyed with you at that time, and to publicly acclaim and acknowledge that some of the economic progress that we achieved in that period was due to the work that you did. Your Royal Majesty, as we have inherited a difficult economic situation, I'll be calling on you again from time to time. There are many projects that have been left uncompleted. The Sewa Hospital is not operational because there's no electricity, there's no water, and the road to the hospital has not been constructed. I wish to assure you that we will tackle it immediately. Make sure that we can
Welcome back from the break. The minority in Parliament is giving President John Dramani Mahama an ultimatum to restore order and put an end to the post-election violence and destruction of state properties or risk losing their cooperation in Parliament. They believe the recent incidents of violence and property destruction allegedly perpetrated by NDC affiliates are a deliberate attempt to disrupt the Electoral Commission's declaration of the Ablekuma North parliamentary election results, which are expected to favor the new Patriotic Party. Second Deputy Minority Whip Jerry Ahmed Shaib wants the President and the Election Security Task Force to take immediate action and enforce law and order.
The Minority Caucus hereby expresses its deep concerns about the state of lawlessness in this country in the aftermath of the declaration of President John Dramani Mahama as president of our beloved country. The organized NDC tax, who are inspired by very senior members of the NDC in the presence of Mr. Toto Bikwachi, Lieutenant Colonel retired Bevulo Lati, and one Malik Basintali, are often seen invading institutions, locking up offices, and obstructing the Electoral Commission from discharging its constitutional duties, including collating and declaring election results. The latest is the violence unleashed on the EC officials and its properties by the NDC tax, led by its regional organizer and inspired by the aforementioned leaders or elders of the party who should know better. Clearly, the NDC knows that it has lost the Ablekuma North parliamentary elections. It must be emphasized that MPP lost about 60 parliamentary seats with margins below 1,000 votes, yet it conceded graciously. A classic case is Domi Kwabenya. The case of our win, where we lost by a controversial margin of 93 votes, we considered graciously. And today, the NDC candidate for our win is in Parliament as a member of Parliament for our win. To President Mahama, we call on you to take immediate steps to call your party tax to order. You cannot pretend to be unaware.
President Donald Trump has begun his promised flurry of executive action on the one with his opening rounds of memoranda and executive orders. Trump repealed dozens of former President Joe Biden's actions, began his immigration crackdown, withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accords, and sought to keep TikTok open in the U.S., among other actions.
Tonight, just hours after he was sworn in, President Trump getting right to business, signing a record number of executive orders. At Capital One Arena, in front of a crowd of supporters, Trump putting into motion his day one actions.
I'm about to sign some very important executive orders of our new administration.
Signing orders on the economy, gender, and immigration, declaring that national emergency at the southern border, reinstating the Remain in Mexico policy, and designating cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
The president vowing to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
We are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Trump also declaring a national emergency on energy.
We will drill, baby, drill. America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it. We're going to use it.
Tonight, in front of thousands of supporters here at the Capital One Arena, President Donald Trump signed several executive actions, including withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord.
Well, coming up in sports, the second round of the 2024-25 Premier League season continues this weekend with mouth-watering fixtures. The state. The second round of the 2024-25 Premier League season continues this weekend with mouth-watering fixtures to look forward to in the domestic top flight. Basement club Accra Lions hosting consistent with SC at the Wafa Park in Sogakope in Saturday's only Premier League fixture. Lions will be desperate to return to winning ways after losing 3-0 at home to league leaders Gold Stars FC. The remaining Premier League matches will take place across 8 centres on Sunday, January 26, 2025. In form, Asante Kotoko welcomes Karela United to the Babayawa Stadium in Kumasi, while Heart of Oak makes the long journey to Nzema to battle Basake Holy Stars. Now, Chelsea moved into the Premier League's top 4 with a 3-1 home win over...
Tosin looks like he's possibly been played on. Is it Cunha on the far side? And Madwake made sure.
Now, Como put in a solid performance at home to beat Udinese 4-1 and move clear of the Serie A drop zone in the process. That brings us to the end in sports. Let's take a recap of the top stories. Bereaved families of local miners who died during a violent confrontation with military officers at Anglo Gold Obuasi gold mine take delivery of the bodies. And on the international front, in the U.S., President Donald Trump has begun his promise of flurry of executive action on the one. In sports, the second round of the 2024-25 Premier League season continues this weekend with mouth-watering fixtures. That's the package for you this morning. I am Sandra Edu Boahen. Up next is CSA. Thank you so much for joining us.